Like, why are you draping yourself all over a couch when you're trying to sell me a $9 jar of spread? But unfortunately, I think what we're dealing with is such narcissistic ego that she has to insert herself in the marketing of this brand because she's just fueled to do it. I don't think Meghan could have ever conceived of As Ever without her being involved in every bit of the branding and marketing and having every bit of the website all about her. Just don't show yourself, Meghan. And she also needs to add new products stat. And I am talking now, like yesterday, something, anything. We cannot get excited like this about spreads the way that she wants us to because everything is out of alignment here. It's just weird. But is that if you look close in that photo, Princess Aurora's face is kind of blurred out as well, which is very, very odd to me because when you are in the character department in one of the Disney parks, your entire job is to be photographed as the princess. I think the face was blurred out because they don't want the identity of that Disney cast member who's playing Aurora to be out there because you can timestamp who the person is and when it was taken, right? The photo. It's just all very weird. If she just let the children be children, be around other children. Stop showing us pictures of the two of them alone. It's like the only contact that they get with other children is just with their sibling. I mean, stop the whole flowers in the attic garbage, Meghan. Just cut it out. This is me, you guys. I'm literally thinking of this crap off the top of my head right now of stuff she can do to tell us, to get us excited about these products, but she won't do it. Okay, we need to take a sip for this one, you guys. So I've got my iPad here off to the side if you see me looking because I'm looking at the new Meghan As Ever website. Apparently it's been completely redesigned and she has this reel that she put on her Instagram 3 days ago, and it's also the main video that you see when you go to this As Ever website. I have a very uneasy feeling looking at the video, and I'm not trying to be petty here. I'm really, really not. I'm trying to be as gracious as I can. Heck, the woman's just trying to make a living, okay? Apparently they have a very, very expensive lifestyle. Some reports, I think page 6 came out saying that their lifestyle costs them about $6 million a year. And they're paying upwards anywhere from $2 to $3 million for security alone, okay, for them and their titled prince and princess children of the realm that no one's seen full on front facing, mind you. So I've always thought that was kind of silly. If no one knows what they look like, why are you spending all this money on security? Can you help me understand this? I'm just a 52-year-old nobody with a camera and a laptop, but I don't get it, okay? But anyway, going to this website, it doesn't seem like it's very bright and cheery. And I think she's trying to convey that, but I'm not getting that. What I see is play acting here. I see play acting and I see Meghan very, very conscious of the camera. In my humble opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, a good actor or actress has just that innate instinctual ability to become a chameleon, to lose themselves to the character so that they embody the character. They're not aware of the camera. They're not aware of anything. Sometimes they're not even aware of who they're acting with, depending on what the scene's about. They're just so involved and just enmeshed in that person, that character that they're embodying. And when I look at her, just even the few scenes I saw of her in the Suits, I didn't see an actor losing themselves in a role. I saw Meghan playing Meghan, and that's what I'm seeing here. She is hyper aware of the camera at all times. You can constantly see it. A lot of people have been making commentary about how she's just kind of being weird, the way she's like laying on the back of that chair and she's like kind of stroking her chest. I also think that's weird. I just think, let's just talk about it from a branding perspective. What are you trying to sell here? To me, the way that she's traipsing around the kitchen and she's lounging on the kitchen counter and she's draped over what looks like just, chairs in her den or whatever, where she's going like this. Just, to me, that's like, it's like clothes or home furnishing type of vibe. She sells spread. She sells tea. She's selling bookmarks. this whole sexy mama Montecito, slightly dark vibe she's got going on. And when I say dark, I mean that none of the pictures and videos on the website or Instagram, her as ever or whatever, whenever she's talking about as ever, they're not lit properly, which I think is kind of ironic because her dad is an Emmy award-winning lighting director who has now moved back to the US. We hear, Thomas Markle, I hope you're doing well. God bless you. I'll say a prayer for you. He's been through a lot, poor man, but it's not lit properly. It has kind of like a little dark feel, darker aesthetic to it. That's just what I'm seeing, you know. Who the heck am I? It's just what I'm seeing. But she's also wearing that dress that she wore when she was wasn't she at some kind of award show? Harry was accepting some type of award and she was wearing that white kind of like haltery top dress. She's got that on the website now. She, you know, she likes to recycle her stuff, which is great. But I'm not getting spread tea, shortbread, flour sprinkle from this. What she's doing here has nothing to do with those types of kitchen staples. What she's doing here, to me, has more to do with lifestyle in the sense of clothes or home, like things that you actually wear, that you get in, that you know, that become a part of you, your clothes or your home furnishings. The way she's kind of going around, that's what it says to me. Spread and all the stuff that she's actually trying to sell. She's trying to brand it in a super elevated kind of upscale type of way, in my opinion, falling a bit short because it's just not lit well and just doesn't look good. And she seems to in her head, and it's making me, the viewer, just feel embarrassed and uncomfortable for her looking at it because it just doesn't mesh. Like, why are you draping yourself all over a couch when you're trying to sell me a $9 jar of spread? It doesn't mesh. What she should have done from the very, very beginning, and I've said this before, she didn't need to be involved in any of the branding of this as ever. There are celebrities out there that have companies, but their likeness, their face is not anywhere near the marketing, the website, the branding, none of it. They have created their own little ecosystem for their company, and that's where the products live, independent of the owner's face. But unfortunately, I think what we're dealing with is such narcissistic ego that she has to insert herself in the marketing of this brand because she's just fueled to do it. I don't think Meghan could have ever conceived of as ever without her being involved in every bit of the branding and marketing and having every bit of the website all about her. And the problem again is when you are such a divisive, unlikable personality as she has been proven to be year after year after year since Megxit, you can't make yourself the focal point of the brand because people aren't really going to give your brand or even your newly rebranded website a fair shake. All they're going to do is look at and see her, and they don't care for her, and that's what the focus is going to be. And you know, I really do think, I mean, even though I don't see her as a beauty icon or a fashion icon the way I look at Catherine, the Princess of Wales in that sense, and I'm sorry, that is just my opinion. I've never looked at Meghan as someone who was such an impossibly fresh beauty type of person, that because how she said before that she thought that, you know, the beauty space would have translated more easily, and so many people thought that. I highly doubt that. But in this instance, she could have done something in the beauty space where she could have hired a bunch of beautiful, ethnically diverse models of every size and skin tone and all of that, and use that to promote a beauty brand. You know, she could have done that, and who knows, it possibly could have been a success. She just needed to stay away from the marketing of it. But she didn't do that. Obviously, she wants to be forward-facing in all of the marketing of anything that she wants to do. So in that sense, everything that we're seeing here on the As Ever would have translated more toward the beauty space, the clothes space, or the home space. That's all I'm saying. This whole thing just, it's not working for me. And like, she's standing outside of the pantry and she's like looking at the jar of spread and everything. She's so conscious of the camera, so conscious of the camera. You can just see it. You can just see it. It's uncomfortable, and I have secondhand embarrassment for her. I really do, because this is not good. We don't want to see people fail and flounder and bumble like this, but unfortunately, if she wants this company to do anything, to turn any type of profit moving forward, she needs to completely, in my humble opinion, coming from someone that knows nothing about branding, but I seem to know even a little bit more than what I'm seeing here. She needs to scrap her likeness from all of the visuals, all of the branding from this company. That is my humble opinion. You need to scrap it and you need to go back to the drawing board and completely remove yourself from the equation and brand as ever moving forward. Just don't show yourself, Meghan. And she also needs to add new products stat. And I am talking now, like yesterday. What she should have done, in my opinion, and I don't even know how to run a freaking company, but if I was her, I would have had way more product offerings a year on by now. If I was Meghan, I would have introduced dinnerware, both formal and casual, different price points for different people. I would have started to introduce flatware, silverware. I would have started to introduce teapots, teacups, saucers. I would have started to introduce things that are just basic, that entry-level type products into the company, like, tea towels or coasters or just anything. Cutting boards, right? She's so into her cutting boards and her arranging vegetables, her charcuterie madness that she's always dragging us into. I would have started to introduce cutting boards, something, anything. We cannot get excited like this about spreads the way that she wants us to, because everything is out of alignment here. It's just weird, but I have to move on from the as ever stuff as well, because we have to talk about these Disneyland photos that she posted, and Lord help us all, please. I don't know if you guys know, I worked at Disneyland for 7 years. I started on the steam trains and I was a monorail driver. I used to work in Tomorrowland back in the day at Disneyland Anaheim, back when Captain EO was in Tomorrowland. That was the first thing I did in my job at Disney, was work in the Captain EO theater in Tomorrowland. So that was a long time ago. I started in 1996, okay? And then I eventually moved into guest relations and I was a VIP tour guide and hostess, eventually was working in the office, all of that. But so I know a little bit about the way that Disneyland approaches VIP tours and celebrities and all of that. And I have a bit to say on this, okay? But before I do that, I'm gonna have to take a sip. The pictures themselves are kind of dark and kind of weird. Most of them are, not all of them. The ones where they're showing Archie and Lily going to meet the princesses, they're a little better lit. But I'm of the opinion, and this is just my opinion, I personally think that these photos are leftovers from when they went to Disneyland last year, and that is just my opinion. I am noticing that in particular in the photo where they are greeting the princess and it shows Archie hiding behind a pillar, and it shows Lily with Princess Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, who is kneeling down looking at Lily straight on. What I find weird and what strikes me immediately is Meghan is looking, if you zoom into the picture, Meghan is looking at the camera. She's not looking at Archie, nor is she paying any attention to Lily, who is having one of the best moments of Lily's life, living her best life, meeting a Disney princess. Meghan's like in the middle trying to garner attention for herself, which is kind of sad in my opinion. Meghan should be facing Lily, who's having her moment, or, with Archie. It's just weird. All of this back of the head stuff is really, really weird. And when I mentioned before to you guys that I worked in guest relations and did tours and VIP tours and all that, when you are on a VIP tour, now mind you, this was back in the early 2000s. I left Disneyland in 2003. Maybe protocols have changed. I doubt it. But most celebrities, whether they're uber famous or kind of more B, C, D list types, most of them, you set up the parameters with your VIP host or hostess at the onset. How do you want to handle pictures? How do you want to handle crowds? How do you want to do all of that? Now, depending on the status that the studio approves for each VIP guest, some of them have complete VIP backdoor privileges, meaning they do not wait in any queues. They are ushered into the back door on all attractions. I'm going to assume that Meghan and Harry do have that because, God forbid, the Duchess of Sussex wait in any queue with anybody. But what I don't understand is, do they have, I'm sure they have their security with them, okay? But how are you stopping people who are in the park from taking a forward-facing picture of Archie and Lily. I mean, I guess you could in their direct kind of circle proximity as they're walking around, but you can take photos from kind of far away with an Apple iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy or whatever. You could take a picture. Why haven't there been any forward-facing pictures of these kids anywhere, leaked anywhere online from just a random guest? That's what I want to know. But the fact that it seems to me like Meghan is a little bit more open with the whole picture thing, in the sense that when it's someone in her entourage. But I'm just wondering how she's handling it with Disney personnel, and particularly with the VIP host and hostess that's out with her, how they're dealing with people out in the park and their camera phones. Very, very interesting. But it seems to me that she's not really into the 100% private experience herself. Obviously not, because she has to take pictures at every turn. But again, not forward-facing pictures, always from the back. And it doesn't seem to me like Lily grew at all. She still looks to be, if this is indeed supposed to be a new independent trip in 2026 versus what we saw last year, I don't think it is. But it just seems weird. And the other thing that I'll point out in that one picture where I'm talking about how Meghan is just looking at the camera and not the kid, did you notice how blonde Lily's hair looks? She does not look red at all. Now, maybe there's people that are going to say that a trick of the lighting, but to me, it doesn't even look like the same child. It does not. The hair is so strikingly different in appearance. She was strawberry blonde in some other photos that Meghan posted just a month or so ago on her Instagram. And now she looks as blonde as Princess Aurora does. And also what I find very, very weird is that if you look close in that photo, Princess Aurora's face is kind of blurred out as well, which is very, very odd to me, because when you are in the character department in one of the Disney parks, your entire job is to be photographed as the princess. You are the likeness of that princess. Why did whomever on Meghan's team or Meghan herself take the time to kind of blur out Princess Aurora's face as well? That's very, very odd to me. Why would you do that? Because there are sleuths out there, mommy sleuths, who if they were able to see that Princess Aurora's face, they would know who that person is playing Aurora, and they would probably try to do their darndest in detective work to find out who that princess is, meaning who it is, when they were working, what day. You see what I'm talking about here? Why was the face blurted out? I think the face was blurted out because they don't want the identity of that Disney cast member who's playing Aurora to be out there, because you can timestamp who the person is and when it was taken, right? The photo. It's just all very weird. It's all very weird. And the Cinderella photo is very cute. And obviously Cinderella is hugging little Lily so tightly that her face is not shown, because, you know, she's nodding her head down. I don't know, you guys. I mean, in other photos, when she's outside, the hair for the little girl does look a little more red, but in that one picture, it looks like a blonde wig, kind of like what the character princess is wearing. Just all very weird, and it's probably the lighting, it probably is, but this does nothing to stop all of these people talking online about these children are fake, these children are fake, these children are fake. And the reason why, getting back to the heart of it, why people think that the children aren't real and are fake, is because we weren't disclosed all the information that the public usually got when a royal birth was announced and when it happened, all of it. There's no supporting documentation for Harry and Meghan's children the way that there are for Princess Catherine and Prince William's children. That is just a fact. And that is why people are so incensed and upset, is because they want proof that these children should be in the line of succession. They want doctors' signatures on the papers outside of the palace with the birth announcement, like we got with all of the other royal children. We don't have that with these children. And that's what started all of this garbage nonsense. And that's what's now fueling all of this noise. And also it's fueling it because Harry and Meghan's behavior since the beginning has been so contradictory where these children are concerned. They said to Omid Scobie back in the day, we don't even want Archie to have a title. We just want him to grow up and be normal and private. But now, there they are in Anaheim. Here's my prince and princess daughter, everyone, at Disneyland. Ho, 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 hee, hee, hoo. It's like, come on, people. It's just, I don't understand any of this. Again, like Blake, Meghan could do herself a huge favor if she just disappeared, if she just let the children be children, be around other children. Stop showing us pictures of the two of them alone. It's like the only contact that they get with other children is just with their sibling. I mean, stop the whole flowers in the attic garbage, Meghan. Just cut it out. Just let the kids be kids off camera, especially when you and your husband bang on all the time about how the internet is such a horrible, rotten place for children. Well, they are subjecting their children to all types of scandalous speculation on a daily basis by doing this. And you know what else was kind of weird that I thought was weird is, you know, poor Meghan, if she wants the business to be a success, and you know, I'll be the first to say, I don't want her business to crumble or anything. I mean, you know, she is a mom, supposedly. She does have a family. She's trying to make a living, you know, independent from the royal family. Great. So, but you know, take some of the branding advice I gave you in this video, Meghan. But what also seemed really odd to me was she put out on her Meghan Instagram all of that stuff, like in that reel with all this rebranding. And then it seemed like within a 24-hour space, even slightly smaller, she released all this Disneyland stuff. So she didn't even allow the rebranding of the As Ever to kind of sit alone and marinate on her Instagram grid to just kind of give people a chance to, oh, okay, I guess this is the new messaging. This is the new what's going on. It's like less than 24 hours, bam, she's posting all this Disneyland stuff. It's so scattered. The focus is so all over the place. I mean, I guess she had to because it was one of her kids' birthday. I don't even know when her kids have a birthday, to be honest with you. I have no idea. But it's just, why? Why now? It's just, none of this makes sense. And then do you remember she told Emma Grede in the podcast Aspire last summer that she doesn't intertwine As Ever with her personal Meghan Instagram? Remember how she said, no, like, I do not do that. I don't put business on my Meghan grid. I'll see if I can find that clip, but I'm pretty freaking sure, because I did a whole deep dive analysis of that whole interview last summer. I'll link that playlist for you. But Emma was saying, oh, you know, why aren't you, basically Emma Grede, who is a billionaire entrepreneur in of her own right, works with the Kardashians, specifically Khloe Kardashian on her Good American Gene line. So she's a smart, savvy businesswoman, Emma. And even Emma was like, why aren't you cross-promoting your As Ever business on your Meghan? And Meghan was like, no.
But are you thinking about it in the way that so many of us do as also a business tool?
Not for my personal account.
Really?
No. For my personal account?
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's the one we're all following.
Well, good.
That's
a
the
lot
one
of you
that
are
we're
following
like,
As Ever
just
too.
dropped.
No, I think
She was kind of taken aback, almost offended, like I'm too cool to do that. Why would I do that? But from a business standpoint, Emma was kind of like, well, why wouldn't you? Like, the Meghan Instagram is the one that we're all on anyway. And it was just a little bit of an embarrassing moment for Meghan there in that interview, in my opinion. But yeah, it's too scatterbrained. There's no focus. I don't understand what she's doing with this brand, you guys. I personally don't like it. I personally don't relate to it. I don't want to see her draped all over a couch or sitting on a kitchen counter trying to sell me spread. What I would rather have is a bright, pretty, cheery aesthetic of a website with her completely removed from it. I want to see videos. She needs to be on her Instagram and on her website releasing videos, tons of videos about what to do with her products. I mean, she's going to have to get really inventive because all she has is spread and tea and shortbread, which is pretty boring in my humble opinion. But at least get inventive and start showing us what to do with these things. What I would do if that was my product line is I would show what to do with the tea for summer coming up. How to make, remember how she was all into that sun tea thing? And like a lot of people do that where they make iced tea in the sun, but there's considerations you have to do as far as like bacteria and different things. But you know, get yourself an iced tea maker, but you show us recipes. Point being, show us recipes, what you can do with those teas. Show us a really pretty summer tea bath recipe with your teas, with your peppermint tea. You know, peppermint is good for soothing sore, tired, achy legs and feet. Show us something like that. Show us anything. Take a tea bag, cut it up, make it in one of your killer bath salt recipes. Talked about that last year. I won't go into it. Just watch the video I did about it. But show us a responsible and safe beauty recipe. Okay, do your due diligence, Megan, before you cook up a little recipe for us, but just show us anything. Show us what to do with your teas. Show us what to do with your shortbread. Show us an unconventional recipe using your shortbread mix. Like what if she used her shortbread mix, but kind of mixed it with other ingredients and other breadcrumb type things to make like a really cool fried chicken recipe or something you could do at a picnic. Like this is me, you guys. I'm literally thinking of this crap off the top of my head right now of stuff she can do to tell us, to get us excited about these products, but she won't do it. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. I'm a nobody who doesn't know anything about branding and starting a spread and tea company. And even I sitting here am coming up with stuff that would at least make me want to click on something and be like, oh, Megan's going to show us what to do with her teas, you know, DIY beauty recipe, or how to make a pretty iced tea recipe, blending some of her flavors. And oh, here's a cool recipe involving her shortbread that doesn't really involve cookies, but you could use it in a different way. Or, you know, here is a marinade she's going to show us with her raspberry spread. Something, anything. Give us anything you got, Megan. Anything. But thus far, there has been nothing on that website that has prompted me to want to go and click pay now to take my little Haunted Mansion mug and drink one of her teas, or, you know, buy her spread. Nothing has inspired me to the point of wanting to do that. And it's because the messaging from day one has been all wrong. I do feel sorry for her in the sense that we've got to kick it up a notch. We've got to reevaluate. We've got to do something here, Megan. We've got to do something, because what we're seeing is not working. So we need to all say a little prayer for Megan that she will see the error of her branding ways here. And, you know, everything that I've told her in this video, free, albeit unsolicited advice, it's all free. You know, I am throwing it out there to you, Megan, from a purely branding perspective. I am just hot off the presses here. I'm a consumer in the trenches telling you, Megan, what I'm seeing from this website from a person who doesn't really know anything other than I like what I like, and I gravitate to things that look like they could be beautiful or helpful or useful, something that I'm gonna get as a customer from this as ever. And so far, nothing is inspiring me to want to buy anything from the website, let alone look at it and say, oh, this is something cool. So kind of sad. I wish her all the best, but she's gonna definitely have to reevaluate what she's doing here, because it ain't working for me, and I know it's not working for a lot of people at all, really.